Happening later today, Reverend Jesse Jackson wants to shine the spotlight, the national spotlight that is, in the Dontre Hamilton case. He plans to join demonstrators in several events here in Milwaukee. There'll be two rallies, one at Red Arrow Park and one at the federal courthouse downtown. Reverend Jackson also expected to take part in a meeting at Holy Temple Firstborn Church. That's this evening. These rallies follow a similar demonstration this past weekend in Chicago. Supporters remain upset that no criminal charges were filed against the former officer who killed Hamilton during a struggle last spring. Our Jermont Terry just sat down with the Reverend Jackson, and he joins us now live with details on this exclusive interview. Jermont?
Yeah, Vince, the Reverend Jesse Jackson arrived in town earlier this morning. Right now, he is meeting with Mayor Tom Barrett inside City Hall here in downtown. Jackson is in Milwaukee, as you mentioned, to show support for the family of Dontre Hamilton. The civil rights activist believes the federal government should not only review the case of Hamilton, but also the practices and patterns within the Milwaukee Police Department. I sat down and talked to Jackson exclusively just a few moments ago about everything that has transpired in this case and what it really means.
What do you expect to get from these meetings with Mayor Barrett and also U.S. Attorney Jim Sentell?
To understand the legitimacy of our claim about this pattern of blacks killed in Milwaukee, about the pattern of blacks killed around the country.
When national civil rights activists like yourself and Reverend Al Sharpton come into town, you make it about race. Is this about race?
It's certainly not about reason when somebody is shot and these patterns exist. But it's easy to accuse those who fight for justice as being the cause.
And this is video of Reverend Jesse Jackson going into that meeting with Mayor Tom Barrett, which is taking place right now. This happened just about 15 minutes ago. We're going to try to catch up with him a little bit later, but we do know that Reverend Jesse Jackson is also slated to talk to U.S. Attorney Jim Sentell this afternoon before speaking to the media at a 3:30 press conference on the steps of the federal courthouse. Again, we know that Jesse Jackson is showing support. He believes that Dontre Hamilton's family needs a national platform to get their story and their cause out there. Again, not just asking the federal government to look at the case of Dontre Hamilton, but he believes the patterns and practices within the Milwaukee Police Department needs to also be reviewed by the federal government. We'll have much more on this developing story throughout the day on TMJ4.com and also beginning on Live at 4 and 5. For now, reporting live outside City Hall, Jermont Terry, today's TMJ4. Vince?
And Jermont, I know you've been in touch with Reverend Jackson over the last couple of weeks. Has he indicated to you why he felt that this story has thus far not received the national attention that, say, Ferguson has, that New York has? I mean, in that case, the latter case, there was video. That certainly helps the media tell the story. But why has our case here in Milwaukee not gotten the national attention that some of the others?
That's a very good question, Vince. I asked Reverend Jackson that question. He says, at this particular point, I think people were just waiting to see how the wheels of justice is going to play out here. You have to realize that in this case, we waited nearly 8 months for a decision. In this particular case, we did get the firing of Officer Christopher Manny, but people believe that the wheels of justice was going to play out differently than how they played out in Ferguson. So in this particular case, he believes that now, since they believe that they didn't get the justice that they deserved, now he believes this needs a national spotlight now because it did not get it in the previous months.
All right, Jermont Terry downtown with us with that exclusive interview with Reverend Jesse Jackson. And Jermont indicated he'll be covering the Reverend's activities throughout the day today, and we'll bring those to you throughout the day. Also later